You sent her a little too fucking hard there, bud.
That ain't good.
Not good. And this one is also broken, just deep in there. So we're gonna do what we can to extract these out of the crank for L golf cart Hue, and yeah, we'll see. So the one thing that I did want to mention is that when you're welding on an engine, you want to be mindful of, the flow of electricity, if you want to say, while you're welding. So for instance, if you grounded to a part of the block and you're welding on the crank like we were, you got to remember that technically the crank is floating on an oil bath on your main bearings, which means that in order for you to make continuity, a connection between these 2 points, that electricity has to travel through that electric bath. Essentially, now you have a gap that it's traveling through, and you have the possibility to arc between your bearings and your crank, which would damage your main bearings, and that would be bad. So when we welded on this, I put a bolt in the harmonic balancer crank pulley up here, and we grounded directly to that. So you're grounded directly to the piece that you're welding to, and it eliminates a good part of that risk of worrying about arcing your main bearings, because the electricity goes right from this bolt right to where you're welding in the back, or vice versa if you want to get technical with polarity when it comes to TIG welding, but you get the point. So the good news is we got this one out, which was the second one we tried to get out. The bad news is the first one that we tried to get out by welding it, can't get out. So we either got lucky with this one, or we're still not very lucky. So it's been a few days, and through the power of YouTube, nothing happened. So we still have 3 bolts to get out. We got these 2 out. One of them came out with an easy out and just spun right out. The other one we drilled out completely and then chased out with a tap and broke off the little chunk inside, and got that out in one piece, and the hole seems pretty good. So welding it didn't work just because they do seem to be super tight, since we did confirm that they were bottomed out in the hole, and that's why they did break off. So we're going to continue with the same method we used for these two, which is just drill them out completely, re-tap the hole and clean it up that way, since welding didn't work, and then easy out on this one didn't work, and that one's so deep that you can't really get anything in there besides the drill bit anyways. So 4 out of 5 is 80%, and that's better I did in high school, so I'll take it. The one hole that we started welding in, I wasn't able to get really that great on center, because drilling through the weld isn't great, and trying to find center of the bolt after that isn't great either. Hindsight, we could have bolted up the flywheel with the good holes that we had and used the hole in the flywheel to guide the drill bit into making sure that it is center. We're going to try to see if the hole takes torque. If it doesn't, we'll come up with a plan B, but not too bad for getting the rest of them out. Did get some decent pieces out of them, which is always good, like that guy, and then a bunch of metal chips, but overall definitely way better than it was when it came in, and hopefully Hugh here will be sending the golf cart pretty soon. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.